Good evening, everybody. Everybody's having an awesome Sunday. Welcome to the Fireside Chat with the boys. My name is Colin. I go by Broncoride on YouTube, and below are the other two guys that we've been doing this for, a year now, a little over a year, and that is HDR and Bodine52, and I'll let them introduce themselves in just a second. But first, I want to welcome our awesome guest that we have this week. His name is Dave, and Dave is the founder, CEO, whatever your title you want to be called tonight, of Custom Dynamics. And, yeah, exactly. Welcome aboard, man. We appreciate you really coming on tonight. For those of you in the motorcycle industry, obviously, that are fans of LEDs, it's synonymous with Custom Dynamics. So, Dave, thank you so much for coming on tonight. Format of the show, before we go into introductions, we've got a couple different things we're doing tonight. We're going to have some questions specifically for Dave, and then we'll have some questions for all of us. We're going to only have a small section for rapid fire tonight, and then we're going to do a question and answer session for about 15, 20 minutes after the show. And after the introductions, I'm going to tell you a little bit something that we're going to be maybe doing a little giveaway, and I'm going to explain that after we're done. So first, my name is Colin. Again, I ride a 2017 Harley-Davidson Street Glide Special, and I live in Maryland. I'm glad to be here. So Dave, take it away. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, I'm Dave Perbula. I'm the, as Colin said, owner of Custom Dynamics. I ride a Street Glide. It's one of 7 bikes that I have. I'm here in Youngsville, North Carolina, and thanks for having me on tonight. I'm excited to talk to everyone.
Jack, Mr. Kiss Ass with the Custom Dynamics sign in the back. Go ahead.
Hey, it's very important to have a Custom Dynamics sign in the back. If you run Custom Dynamics, you should have Custom Dynamics signs all over your garage, on the outside, so people can see them. We want to spread the love. Hey guys, I'm Harley Day Rider, your girlfriend HDR. I ride a Road Glide Ultra. I've been riding that bike for a few years now, and still loving every day on her. So welcome, Dave. We're glad you're on board with us tonight.
So is that some fancy stuff, or is that actually a sticker that's on the wall, or what's going on here?
No, that's a metal sign. I got a hold of Erin on Monday, and I said, I have a special guest. I need a special sign. She sent that. I had that Wednesday. How about that?
We got to get better control of him, Colin. Hi, everybody. I'm Bodine52. I go by Bob, and I ride a 2018 Ultra Limited and in a 2000 Road King Classic. And Dave, welcome. Glad to have you here.
So, Bob, who do we have in the side chat tonight?
Boy, we got a group. Jonesy Ride, Rocky J, Bluegrass Riders, our favorite Robin, the Lady Biker, Larry, Bob Nelson, Brian, a lot of the normal group, Ty from Tennessee. So a great group and growing already.
If you guys are new to this, we do this every Sunday night. We rotate channels between Bodine52, Harley Day Rider, and myself. And we like having a guest on. And so again, Dave, thank you very much for taking the time out of your Sunday night to come join us. So we're doing something a little bit different tonight. And Dave, we want to start off and appreciate you for doing this. So you guys got to pay attention. So there's going to be a question at the end of the show about something we talk about in this hour of the show. First person to answer this in the side chat is going to win a $250 Custom Dynamics gift card. And Dave's going to show it right there. Look at it. There it is. It's got your name on it. So once we get towards the end of the show, we will ask a question, and the first person that answers it will win that. And then I'll give you guys the specifics, logistics, how it's going to work once we get to that. So have fun with that. Okay. So the first question, this is specifically for Dave. And Dave, tell us a history of how Custom Dynamics came about. What are your plans for the future of your company? And remember, we only have an hour.
All right. Well, it's kind of an interesting way Custom Dynamics got started. My background is electrical engineering. I grew up riding motorcycles. I started when I was probably about 6, 7 years old on a little Honda 50. Always loved motorcycles, had a whole bunch, never rode competitively or anything, but just always had dirt bikes, and then, finally graduated to street bikes. But went to school, always liked electronics. When I graduated from college, my first job was with IBM in doing electronics, doing semiconductors. And later on, I started, seeing LEDs, this was way back in like 2001, LEDs on motorcycles. And it really caught my interest. And went down to Myrtle Beach, my wife and I had LED, just the decorative lights put on there on my motorcycle, came home, really enjoyed them. And I said, all right, I want to add some more. So I just had a little basic engine kit done and told my wife, hey, this is something really cool that I think I'd like to make a little business doing. And she said, you're kind of crazy. My automated lights here shutting off.
Obviously, that wasn't one of your LEDs.
No. So
that was a good one.
Yeah.
That was nice.
So, but anyway, so I started kind of tinkering around with the idea of installing these lights on my bike that I had done, and started looking into getting insurance and things like that. And it just kind of wasn't going anywhere. So I came up with the idea of making an online business to sell these kits for the people like me that wanted to add on or wanted to, start from scratch. So searching around, looking for these little decorative lights became a challenge. And I was like, where do you find these? And, where do you get them? So I found a company that made them, bought them, and I got them in. And they're like, okay, these are like the same ones this guy put on my bike. They have 4-inch wires. Not going to work real well on a motorcycle. I need something with long wires. So I got my soldering iron out, extended the wires. And so long story short is, since we don't have an hour, is I made these little kits. So my whole idea is to make a kit that someone like in my situation that bought the lights or wanted to do anything could have everything they wanted. They could have the long wires. They have the heat shrink. They have everything they need to install the lights themselves. And then I said, all right, now I've got all the supplies, everything to make the kits. I got all my suppliers, and I need to sell these. So I started off to design a website. I knew absolutely zero about websites. So, again, this is in 2002. So, websites are around, but they're nothing like they are today. So I literally went down to Barnes and Nobles and bought a book, Website for Dummies, and started to read it and designed a little simple website, took some photos, put my little kits on this website. And so spent some time, got this all website going, and said, great, I got my little website. Now I'm going to start selling my kits. Well, days go by, weeks go by. I'm not selling anything. Nothing. Well, why am I not selling anything? Because, if you Google motorcycle lights or motorcycle LEDs, I'm on page 3,000. No one's ever going to find me. So my next venture is to try to optimize the website. So make the next trip back down to Barnes and Noble and buy a book on search engine optimization. So I spent all this time optimizing the website and trying to get it to rank in Google for motorcycle lights or motorcycle LEDs. And I remember we went away on Christmas to my wife's sisters. And on Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2002, I go and check my email, and we had an order. And I was like...
And it was Bob.
and Bob had placed an order for blue LEDs.
You're welcome.
Yes. And that's how Custom Dynamics started. So it was just tinkering around with an idea to expand on these little lights that I had. Never thought it was going to be a business. I was playing. It was a hobby. I had a good job at an electronics company. Just tinkering. Never meant to leave my job. Never meant to make this a big company. I was playing around.
I love the entrepreneurial spirit, man. That's great that you're taking that and you're running. What's the future?
So, where we are now, we're, 32, 33 employees. We've grown, pretty much every year that we've been in business. I like to say we're the leader in LED lighting. I believe we are. I I want to just continue growing. I want to continue to be the leader, really want to focus on technology. As we all know, motorcycles are becoming more and more complex. We have BCMs and ECMs, and they become more and more complex every year. And a lot of companies can't do things that we could do 10, 15 years ago with the motorcycles. They're a lot more complicated. So, we want to use what we have done with technology. We want to take advantage of, our capabilities and build more and more sophisticated lights that take advantage of what Harley and what Indian have done with their motorcycles to make better lights and more sophisticated lights to improve the customer's experience and make the lights brighter and safer with more functionality.
Hey, Colin, if I can just add real quick,
you can add whatever you'd like.
The cool thing about having a guy like Dave on is when you hear the story, it's about somebody at the end of the day was trying to make something better for all of us that ride. I mean, it's stuff like that to me that makes you want to work with somebody. You have, the best product out there. That makes it easy. But when you hear the story about how you came up and why you were trying to do it, I think at least with this guy, that's important.
Don't forget, guys, anybody that jumped in a little bit later, we will be giving away a $250 gift card at the end of this show for something that Dave says during one of the questions. So pay attention. So I just want to make sure you guys know that. Okay, this is for all of us, guys. We all have CD products on our bikes. What is your favorite and why? Start with, I'll say that to you, Dave. I mean, I know you're going to probably give a political answer. They all are. But what is your favorite?
So my favorite is the dynamic rings. So those are the front LED turn signals that are amber and white. And I think there's a couple reasons why those are my favorite. Number one is the way they came about. We went to SEMA one year, and a lot of times we get ideas at SEMA. So we see things in the automotive space happen sometimes a couple years before we see it in the motorcycle space. So we had gone to SEMA. We see, in the concept cars, the amber white turn signals, the DRLs with the amber starting to happen in the concept cars. We love the idea. We say, wow, what could we do with that on a motorcycle? So we take that idea, come back home, and start to, think about that and apply that to a motorcycle and come up with the idea on a dynamic ring front turn signal. So we go off, start designing that. And that was, I think, a true game changer for the industry when we came out with that front turn signal. I mean, you drive down the road now and you see motorcycles go by one after another with dynamic rings on them. And now this year, Harley took our concept and, I don't want to use the word copy, but implemented. All right, you can say it, but took our idea of a dynamic ring and came out with their version of it. So that's I think it's quite an accomplishment for us when we have Harley now doing a product based on our original idea.
Check you out, Mr. Youngsville, North Carolina, middle of nowhere. But
you think about how safe that has made motorcycles, what that has done compared not just to incandescent bulbs, even if you had LEDs, but what a game changer that was for motorcycles to have how, that bright white light on there and yet still retain the turn signal functionality. It's just that I think was a real game changer for safety.
Jack, how about you? What's your favorite?
I think mine are the very first custom dynamic lights I put on my Road Glide Ultra, and it was the filler lights. I just think that Harley just put that socket back there, and they said, I think they actually wrote a letter, and I think it went something like this. Dave, can you please think of something to go in this god-awful empty hole on the back of this motorcycle? And Dave sat down with the pencil, and he sketched it out, and he said, yeah, I think I could fill that hole up pretty nicely. So, yeah, it has to be the filler lights. They are awesome. and they light up the back of the bike, man. People can see you when you're stopping now.
That's great. I agree. You have to look at every bike now, Dave, and say, hey, there's a hole. I can fill those in like the fillers, right? For sure. So, Colin, I know you and I talk about this a lot. I put on fillers. I put on turn signals, LED taillights, but lately the magic strobes to me. And I think it started, Colin, when the three of us were riding. I was riding behind you, and you had the magic strobes on. And I thought I was having a seizure riding behind you every time you stopped. I put those on my bike, and to me, from a safety perspective, they're a life changer. If anybody said, what's the one thing I should put on my bike, for me, it would be that. Because not only do they look great, but there's no way people can't see unless they're not looking.
Dave, when we were riding together, I was like trying to do it on purpose just to irritate him. I'd keep hitting the brake and like, did it work, Bob?
Didn't help your riding abilities, but you know.
So
maybe I needed them, because then you wouldn't have almost ran in the back of me.
All right, we're getting off topic here, guys. We'll discuss that another show.
I know.
I like the I mean, I have a couple of your lights on the bike, just a handful
with 3 batteries.
Yeah, I have 2 batteries for it. I like the halo lights. I mean, there's 2 that I like. The sequential turn signals on the back under the saddlebag and the fog lights, or halo lights on the front. Those are bright as hell, man. And I don't know if I don't see a lot of people on the road with those, with the halo lights, and they make a huge difference. I mean, I keep those things on all the time, and you could flip to bright and regular, and they have some serious light on those. So that's my favorite for sure.
Hey, Colin, there's a question, if I may, right?
Sure.
The question is, since Colin is a bulletin board for Custom Dynamics, does he need a second battery for all of the Custom Dynamic lights that he has on his motorcycle?
As Harley Dayrider always says, I have a second one in my fairing that I put in. I have 2 batteries. So.
I have an intro that we made that shows you with that battery in your hand, putting it in the fairings.
I will tell you, it is packed under my seat though. So I mean, it's like Jenga, man. I mean, I've got to tuck so many different things and like move stuff around because it's got a lot of lights. So it's fun. It's actually turning into a game. So, okay, Dave, next one for you. I want to know what walk us through your creative process when it comes to new designs, because you're you design all your lights, right?
Correct.
You design everything. So kind of walk me through it. And what is your most popular selling one? And then I want to know, what is the one that didn't sell that you thought it would?
Okay. So the creative process is the first thing we got to do is look at it and see if it's feasible. So, can we manufacture it? Can we manufacture it at a reasonable cost? And, is the customer going to be able to install it? So is it feasible to make this product? So sometimes you can come up with a really good idea. You can look at it and then you can say, this is a nice product, but it's not feasible for whatever reason. The customer can't do it. If he's got to take it to the Harley shop and have his BCM reflash to install it, it's not going to work. So is it feasible for all of these reasons to go through the checklist? And then, is it viable? Can we manufacture this at a low enough cost that we can retail it for a reasonable price that the customer's going to, be able to want to purchase it. You can't price ourselves out of the market. And then next we got to look at is there any patents on this idea? Are we going to violate any IP, or is there something in this now that we can patent and protect ourselves from competition? So we start going through this checklist and looking at it. And I'll say one of the things that I've learned over the years is to kind of be open-minded. I used to, when I first started off designing things, I used to look at it and say, I really like this. I think this would be great on a bike, and not look at it from other people's perspective. So I've learned over the years to try to broaden my horizon and look at it not just from my perspective. So I try to come up with the idea and get other people's inputs. And sometimes there's things that maybe I don't like that I would say, hey, I wouldn't put this on my bike, but a lot of other people would put this on their bike. And, you kind of limit your market if you have that thought process. If I just say, this is my style, and if I'm going to design this in I don't like it, but there's a whole other market that people are going to like it, that it's not good business practice. So you have to kind of take yourself out of that box and look at it from different perspectives and different views. And there's a lot of products we have done that honestly, just because of my style, I wouldn't put on my bike. But we've sold we've sold a ton of products because other people really like them. And just because my personal taste, we all dress differently. We, buy different motorcycles. We go to different restaurants. We all have different taste. And when you have, a small company and you're limited with the number of people that you have designing products, you have to get yourself out of that box. And you have to be able to look at it from a lot of different views and not box yourself in. So that's one of the things that's hard and that I've learned early to do is don't box yourself in a corner and don't look at it from just a limited view.
Hey,
You're
I was gonna say, Dave, I got a quick question on that. So just sitting here listening to you talking, I'm thinking, so do you ever take drawings from your customers? Somebody says, look, here's the back of my bike. This is what I'm thinking. Do you take that also into your design phase?
Absolutely, yes. Some of our best products have come from customers' concepts and ideas, and we always have rewarded those customers back with free products. I have one, I can't remember exactly what product it was, but a guy came up to us with an idea and he said, hey, I really think this would make a good idea. And I said, yeah, I think you're right and stuff. And, I said, what do you want for the idea? He said, I want the first product. And I said, I'll give you the first product and all your friends. And he said, deal. And, and we made it, and I gave it to him and all his buddies, and he loved it.
Oh,
and
nice. Very nice.
Yeah. And, so we've done things like that and go into a lot of shows and just listen to the customers, and you get a lot of input. So, we're at a show, we made this product this way, and a customer comes up and says, have you ever thought about, doing this to it? No, we haven't, but that's a great idea. Yeah, it would fit better and go with it. So always open, always listening, a lot of great ideas come from feedback from customers too.
You want to listen to Moto Takahi? It's okay. We're going to make one for the Pan America. You can listen to that too, right? Because I kind of dropped that throughout the week with you, just a couple of hints.
Yeah. We've got to look at that. We haven't yet.
Is there one, like your most popular one, I'm making an assumption, is it the turn signals?
Our number one seller has been the Pro Beam turn signals, the dynamic rings. Yes.
Okay. I figured that.
Yeah.
The one a lot of people don't talk about, I like your saddlebag latch lights. Those things are cool.
But Dave, you talk about like an everyday mechanic. I am not drilling my bag. If I mail my bags to you, will you drill them, put the license on the bag?
Oh, dude, it's easy.
I can see me having a big hole, like a 3/8 inch hole just drilled right through my latch and be like, well, hon, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make that mistake.
Come on, Colin did it. We can do it.
This is where the videos come in handy.
Well, that is true.
Exactly.
That is true.
Again, just as a reminder for those of you that join, there's going to be a question at the end of the show about something we talk about the next hour. First person to answer in the side chat will win a $250 gift card. And plus, also, we're doing a question and answer with Dave. If you guys have any questions, I know we have about 6 or 7 questions right now that Bob's taken down that we're going to do towards the end of the show.
Can we win since we know? Can we win since we know the answer?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer. I forgot. I'm listening right now.
Let's see if people are paying attention.
Keep listening.
Okay. It's Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. What is your number one thing you think about in regards to safety on your bike? Dave, that's you.
Okay. So for me, where I think about. So I think there's a lot of things you can do, obviously, on your motorcycle. But for me, riding, the thing that I always feel the most vulnerable is what's out of your control, right? So you can do a lot of things to help you see, right? You can do headlights, and you can do passing lamps, and fog lamps, a lot of things. But when you're sitting at a red light or a stop sign, and that car's coming up behind you, and maybe they're on their cell phone, maybe they're distracted doing something, that's where I get the most concerned, right? Is in that helpless situation. You're sitting there, maybe there's a car in front of you, you're trapped, and what can you do? And that's where I think, the LED taillights, the brake strobe that we talked about, those type of things that really light up. So, hey, I see this car coming up behind me a little too quick and stuff. Let me squeeze that brake and just blind them with light, that flashing light, and get their attention. Those are the things that I think can help. Now, there's nothing that's 100%, right? But what can we do to increase the odds of being seen? So, right, if you're driving at night and, you can't see, you're going into a corner, you can slow down, right? So, but what can you do when things are out of your control? And I think those are the things that are real important, what you can put on your motorcycle to help in those type of situations where you kind of feel helpless. You're trapped. There's no escape route out. You're in traffic. It's maybe at night, and then you got someone that's just not paying attention coming up too quick. And I hear those stories all the time. People call in a lot of times after the fact. Hey, I got rear-ended. The girl was on her cell phone. The guy was on his cell phone, and I got rear-ended sitting at a light. What can you guys do to make me more visible?
We were just talking about that today. Bob sent over a video of one of his people he subs to that hit rear-ended. Was it a Road King, Bob?
Yeah.
I think the video showed him he's okay, but someone wasn't paying attention. I mean, that's all it takes. Jack, how about you? What's your number one thing you think about?
Well, my number one thing I'm looking at right now, the viewers are going up so fast, Dave. You're such a popular guest that I can't keep track. I rate like 93, 95. And it's just like climbing so fast. So your ratings are going way up, Dave, let me tell you. So my number one thing I think of in regards to safety on the motorcycle is my personal awareness. And after watching that video Bob sent you today, and I tell you guys all the time that I don't wear all the gear all the time and all that bullcrap. I didn't ride. I couldn't get my motorcycle out. If you've seen this video and how violent this guy got hit, and he gets off the bike, he says, "Was you on your phone?" He goes, "No, I was petting my dog." So keep your damn dogs in the back seat or in the trunk, right? Don't let them sit up front. Don't pet it. That's not where they need to be. But it scared me so bad. I didn't even unplug the bike today. I don't even know if I can ride. But because that is, you could die like that. Like one instant, you can be dead. So do the strobes help? I think they do. I'm eventually going to put a set on the bike. Seeing Colin and looking at Bob's video when his wife was following him, I think it helps. But the big thing is being aware yourself, because there's if a driver's looking down, they're not looking at anything, right? They're not going to see the missile launching above their head. So, at least maybe I can use my tactics and get out of the way and not get crushed. But that's my views on it, Colin.
Bob, how about you, boy?
Yeah, same thing. I think it's being seen. I think lights are a big part of it. By the way, that video was from Veteran Biker. I'll put that, Colin, in the comments. And it was a flat out girl on her phone. She said she was petting the dog, hit him, and you saw him flying off the bike. I mean, it's one of those things that kind of get you. And if he had strobes on the back of that bike, just my opinion, right? So to me, it's being lit up. And then I think, Jack, you hit it. To me, it's positioning, where you position your bike and controlling, to Dave's point, what you can control is what's important to me.
And I think a lot of us are like this. I'm a very defensive rider. So like, you've got to have eyes in the back of your head. I'm always looking around for everything. So, I mean, when I ride, I'm always worried about, I don't know if worried's the right word. I'm aware of my surroundings. And so like, like you guys, I'm always focusing on the people around me. And I think honestly, while we're all guilty of this, I think gear is huge. Gear is having the right gear. I'm a big proponent of having a full face from a motorcycle safety standpoint. Obviously lights, we've already talked about that, but being defensive and kind of like knowing your surroundings, because any second now, anybody could be texting and then take you out. Right. And so, it's a risky endeavor, what we do, but at the same time, I enjoy the hell out of it, and I'm not going to let somebody take that away from me. So I'm going to be as diligent as possible to be aware of my surroundings. Makes sense.
Hey, a lot of folks are saying, hey, it's the old, make sure you're in gear when you're at a light, not putting in neutral type thing. So as you're looking behind you, you can get out. But yeah. I think Dave mentioned it, since I have those strobes, if I see somebody coming up behind me, I'm releasing the brake and hitting the brake again to activate those things. I think it works.
And that's a funny thing too. People are putting that in. I've seen Pete and Baggers and Brews about leaving the bike in gear. So many people I ride with want to take their hand off the clutch, hand off the brake, and just sit there and relax and scratch their beards. And do you realize your brake lights aren't even on? So if a car's coming up, you have no lights. Boom, you're dead, just like that, instantly. Keep the bike in gear, keep it ready to go, and keep a foot on the brake light so they can see it, so they know you're stopped and not going. It's just ridiculous how people ride. It's scary.
Last question before we go into a couple rapid fires, and we'll do the question and answer. Outside of custom dynamics, Dave, what do you like to do?
I enjoy working out. I try to go to the gym 5-6 times a week.
You're a buff man.
I enjoy outdoor activities, going for a walk. I've got a son and a daughter, enjoy doing things with them. So just, getting away from the office. I spend a lot of time in here, but enjoy doing outdoor things and enjoy time with my family and trying to ride once in a while.
How often do you get out? Do you ever trek over to Western North Carolina and all the beautiful areas out there by the Smokies? Because is that 4 hours? From 5 or 6?
Yeah, no, it's not that far. About 4. Yeah, not. I haven't been in a while. Be honest with you, since COVID has hit, we have been so busy. It's been insane. So wow. It's been extremely busy. So my days and weekends have been really, really tied up with the business. At first when COVID came along, and everyone didn't know what impact it would have to your business, but there goes my sensors again. I'm sitting too still. But we've been very busy since COVID.
Pro-beam office lights.
Hey, Colin, DeBeard has a great idea. He just doesn't stop at lights. It makes it easier. And Jack doesn't stop at stop signs. So I would not suggest that's the right thing to do.
I'm going to have to do the same thing at lights now. Just kind of drift through them. I don't see a problem with that.
Probably not.
The only time I stop is when I got the 2 Nancys following me.
If you guys give me a minute, I'll tell you some interesting technology that we've been playing around with and looking into. We've been looking into an LED taillight with LiDARs, like radar, built into it that can actually sense if a vehicle's approaching you too fast.
Good idea.
To actually give you an alert, so that you can take a corrective action and get out of that. So if you're the type of driver that you're in gear, you've got an escape route, and that vehicle is coming into you, approaching you too quickly, give you some type of visual signal so that you can take a corrective action before it's too late.
That's gold.
That is really cool. Bob, Jack, and I are looking forward to doing a review on those next week.
Yeah, if you need some beta testers, I'll take my bike out.
That's actually.
I'll get my wife to drive up fast on the back of me. That way I'm pretty sure she won't hit me. But
that's actually cool as hell. Really
so those are the type of things that I think are really interesting and heavy technology that can be done that really takes it to the next level of safety.
Yes.
That's cool as hell hearing that. I'm always talking about lights and that's some serious shit right there, man. Okay, rapid fire, guys. We're gonna do a handful of questions. And some of these, for those of you who are new to the show, these are sometimes motorcycle related, sometimes they're not. So we were talking about some recent events that has impacted 3 of the 4 of us. Bob in Michigan, it has not impacted him as much. I don't think it has. But anybody hoard gas last week?
Not for me.
Because you know it's happening. Now, I will tell you, I mean, like it's impacting what Maryland, Pennsylvania, and then I think you've got the brunt of it, right, Dave? I mean, you've got a lot of crazies out there, and I don't get it. It's like freaking people are stupid. But like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You've got a lot of gas stations that are out of gas out there, right?
Yeah, here in the Raleigh area, there at least the news is reporting about 70% out. I actually think it's a little bit higher than that. Very difficult in the last week to find gas. And as soon as a truck comes in, it's gone in hours. So just long lines. And actually tonight, driving down here to the office, didn't look any better. I really thought pipelines open, all the panic buying would stop. Every gas station I came in here, which is about a 20-minute ride from my house, I didn't see one station open.
People are idiots. They are. The panic buying thing. Jack, has it impacted you at all up there?
Well, I didn't have any problem because, see, I took 2. My wife buys these 55-gallon construction bags. I put those in my trunk and I filled those full of gas. But it's got those blue tie things on the top, so it held it okay.
Yeah, you're one of those people.
Wasn't that lady a whack job? It's like, you know, well, she was absolutely whack job. Miss HR said, I can't talk about that. I got to just let that go. But there are idiots in our world, believe it or not. So, no, we weren't impacted whatsoever. We go to Weirton for gas, so they have an overabundance of gas in Weirton.
Bob, I don't think it impacted you in Michigan. You were finding your own gas in your backyard, so you should be good.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, Colin. Actually, Pro Monkey, who's another big supporter of Custom Dynamics. I know he did a video this morning. He said he's in Florida like we are in Michigan, and it really didn't impact us. But you start getting some people go, it could come this way. We better go get more gas. I'm just like, you people stop it, please.
The gas.
I actually want to go to a gas station and lecture people. That's how bad I think it's crazy.
The gas can slow down before it gets to Michigan. Be prepared.
That's right.
It didn't happen here. I mean, I think the first day we had like a line of like 15, 20 cars, but after that, it's been back to normal.
And you guys know I teach cybersecurity. I could have took any one of my students and prevented that. I can't believe people hire people in these big billion-dollar companies and they're idiots. But
hey, Colin, question real quick. I know we're in rapid fire. Dave, would you consider putting your lights in Sheetz gas stations, the best gas stations in the world?
That is not a question that was on. I guarantee that. Dave, just so you know, we have and I know you have them down south. There's a Wawa versus Sheetz debate. I'm a Wawa guy, and the 2 below us, which I'm going to mute here in a second, are Sheetz fans. So I'm a total Wawa. So if you say Sheetz, I'm muting you.
Oh.
I'll stay out of that one.
Good. Yeah. I know what you're going to say.
So that's a no?
Bob just put it in the chat, so you can't mute that.
All right. So when you guys get takeout, once you get home, you realize you got screwed on your order. You drive back or you just eat and complain. Dave, eat and complain or you drive back?
No, I think every time I've done this, I've just ate and complained.
Jack.
Ate and complain.
Eat, complain, and call them about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'll eat it and I'll be pissed off about it, but I'm hungry. I'm not going to wait. And then my wife will actually call. I mean, she'll like, I need to talk to the manager. And she'll get like a free gift card out of it. It doesn't happen too much, but normally a lot of people I know, they get screwed at the drive-thru. Okay, these are important questions. Over or under with the toilet paper roll?
This is a huge to me. I don't care. I don't pay attention to that. But in our house, it has to go under.
Oh my God!
Ours is over.
I'm distressed about the under. That's divorce in my house. It's got to go over. How could under? Man,
you don't see a lot of under people.
Yeah, we were doing so good till you said that, Dave. I don't know what the heck.
See, I don't care. It don't matter to me.
All those orders that just happened got canceled.
Yeah. Well, this is why I don't pay attention to that stuff.
And I think my wife
as long as it's there.
I think my wife does it on purpose now. I think she goes under just to screw with me personally.
just to get you to change it.
I'm an over guy. Okay, if you guys gamble, what's your favorite game?
Blackjack.
Blackjack.
Mine is roulette.
I can play blackjack for hours at a casino. I love blackjack.
I am a craps man, so I love craps. That is a blast of a game. You could play for hours. Okay, when's the last time you guys washed your helmet liners? Not, I'm to the nasty, smelly helmet liners.
Never.
Oh, Jack.
Absolutely never.
You're supposed to wash them?
Yeah, they
They must smell like complete garbage. I mean, I'm talking like when it gets nasty and sweaty. You don't put a little like freaking Dawn in there and
maybe since the three of us are no go, you got a sweaty, smelly head or something.
No,
I do, but the point is like you wash it like once a year, right?
Yeah, but wait, Colin, I know I rode with you. Don't you wear a do-rag, right?
I do wear a do-rag and I squeeze that out with all my nasty sweat and it gets all over the helmet and I gotta clean it.
Now after the show, I gotta go down in the garage and bring my helmet out and smell it and see if
you do it. It's gonna smell like garbage, man.
Well,
unbelievable. Okay. All right, Bob. What questions do we have for everybody? We'll spend the last 15, 20 minutes doing questions from everybody. And don't forget, guys, after that, we're going to do a giveaway for a $250 gift card for something that has been said or will be said throughout these for this hour. And Dave is very cool enough to offer a $250 gift card for one of our folks in the side chat. And if you're a winner, we'll explain that afterwards. So, Bob, take it away. What questions do we have, man?
Yeah, so I know this is hard because a lot of people ask specific questions, which I think is difficult. But in general, this came a little more question about Springfield brake lights. So, Dave, what do you guys handle mostly from a manufacturer? And then do you see that expanding at all?
So Indian Springfield brake lights. So you were echoing a little bit on me.
Yeah, that was the question specifically. And then what do you handle Harleys and Indians or anything else, or what do you expect to come?
So Harleys and Indians are mainly what we focus on, although we do have a lot of universal products too. We will probably continue to focus on those two as our main lines, although we have been kind of tinkering with the idea of picking up a third manufacturer. Not sure who that would be at this point in time. It may be more along the lines of side-by-sides, UTVs, ATVs than anything else. That market is pretty strong. We are coming out. We have several Indian strobe modules now, and very shortly we will pretty much cover all of the Indians with strobe modules.
Great. Biggest event that you guys got coming up that you're going to be at?
Biggest event is probably Sturgis. Is probably the biggest one coming up.
Isn't that called the Professional Monkey event? Because he is the king at knowing about what's going on in Sturgis.
How many events do you guys do a year?
Normally about 9, 10, somewhere around there. The last couple of years here with COVID's been all screwed up, but it seems to be getting back on track now. So I think this is going to be fairly close to a normal year. So we just did Myrtle Beach the last week, and so we've got a pretty full schedule this year. So we're doing events a little bit different than we have in the past. We're basically teaming up with our bigger dealers and distributors doing the events. So we're doing a lot of them with J&P. We do a lot of them with the Harley dealers. So, for example, Sturgis we're partnering with Black Hills and doing the rally at Exit 55 with Black Hills.
Cool.
Awesome. Any potential Christmas lights since we're so into custom dynamics? Yeah, I'm just following the questions, guys. So, are you going to be in Americade? Do you know?
Americade, I have to look at our schedule. I'm I'm not sure who we have at Americade, but we will have some representation at Americade for sure. I'm not sure if we will personally be there, if it'll be one of our dealers.
Got it. Colin, I think we have covered almost everything. I know there's an event going on in Ocean City, Maryland. I think that's September, DeBeard is saying. So I know you don't have the schedule in front of you, but I know that's a big one.
Ocean City, Maryland. I know we will be there
Cool.
with the dealer we're partnering with. We'll actually have Custom Dynamics employees there too. So that one will be there.
I'm planning on going on that one. So I don't go to a lot of these, but I'm planning on going to that. There's a big event coming up here in a couple weeks. And I know it's just something local with all the moto vloggers, but over in Tazewell, Virginia, with Virginia area motor blogger meetup. So that's a big thing. A couple people put that in the side chat here. One question that I want to ask you personally. So how much do influencers impact your business? And I know you have a lot of videos out there. Obviously, I've done a couple. Bob has, Jack has, but you've got some big influencers out there that have done. How much does that impact your sales? I mean, it big bump from that.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference in so many different ways. First of all, we have 7 bikes here, and with that limited number of bikes, we can't do everything we want on them. We don't have a bike for every install. Even if we did, we can't, if we did every install video ourselves, it doesn't always relate to the average customer. So the influencers play such a huge role for us because, I've probably, honestly installed, I don't know, maybe 5,000, maybe, 7,000 LED taillights. I've probably installed 10,000 sets of turn signals. And I mean, I'm not kidding. I mean, for 20 years of doing these at, so many shows, we do 300, 400, 500 bikes at a show. And, over 20 years of doing this, it really adds up. And I can do these things at night with my eyes closed, and I'm not trying to brag, but the way I do it is different than the average person installing it. And when we have the influencers doing it, they can relate more to the average installer. So when a retail customer buys it, it's different than me explaining it to them than an influencer who has maybe done a few installs, but haven't done, thousands of these. So I just think it's much more on a personal relationship. It relates better than, me or someone on my team that have literally done thousands of these things. So yeah, we're good for tech support, but the influencers it's just a different level that the customers relate to more. And I think it makes a huge difference to the customer. So to us, it's extremely valuable relationship that we have with them.
David, it's interesting you saying that. I know Colin does a lot of it, and Jack too. I remember when I did the strobe video and had my wife follow me in the car so people could see it. I had more people just talk about that, right? Because like you said, an average guy putting them on, right? And people can really see it, and it's not coming from you, the owner, right? I think it looks different. It's the same with Colin, right? The 3 of us will never put anything that we don't support on our bikes. So I think when people see a video from Colin on your lights, they go to it, right? So
yeah, and that's what we want. I mean, we want honest feedback. I mean, and we're not perfect. And if we do something that needs improvement, we want to hear that so that we can make it better.
Here, Dave, here's a quick question for you. I was just sitting here thinking because things pop in my head. So a lot of our wives buy us stuff for Christmas for our bikes. So do you think you'll be having any Black Friday deals? My wife just texted me and asked me.
We do not, and this is a question we get a lot. We do not discount. We do not do any sales ourselves because we don't want to ever compete with our dealers. We have a huge network of dealers, and we don't want to compete with them. So we don't ever get into discounting.
Okay, I'll let her know. Thanks.
Colin, important question from Ed Biker Stuff. If you can see that in the comments, if you don't mind highlighting that one, because I think that's a good question.
Can I change my eyeballs to ProBeam?
Is that the old style light, the eyeball?
Yeah.
Now, how many, like right now, so like you send out, so do all Harley dealerships automatically get those displays, the point of sale displays, or or they have to order them? Because I know when I was out there for your tour of your factory in I always get Youngsville or Youngstown. I always get it back. Youngsville, in the middle of freaking nowhere, North Carolina. I remember you were shipping out like a bunch of, your displays out there to a bunch of different dealerships. Does every dealer get one? I mean, I know you do. What do you deal with? The Drag Specialties, correct?
Yes.
How's that work?
Yeah. So for a dealer to qualify for one, they have to do a certain amount of business, or they have to do a buy-in. So once they do a buy-in or a certain level of business, they qualify for that display, and then they can get them. So we just don't give them to everyone because it's just not feasible for that large of an investment in those big double-sided wall displays. But if they're doing a reasonable amount of business and they do a buy-in, then they qualify for one.
So Bob and my wife and Bob's, they've got this fascination with, gnomes, right? Like these little gnomes throughout my house. What do you think if you just send Bob and I like a big freaking display and I can put it all over the house and that'll take care of those gnomes, right, Bob? You think that's a good idea or no?
Dave, we got a struggle you don't even want to hear about.
You don't even want to
tell you. We got gnomes all over our house, and it's Colin's wife's fault. Not that I'm pointing fingers.
It's sad. Okay, so let me. Do you guys have any questions for him before we get into the gift card? Any others?
No, I don't. People are excited. I can't wait to.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. What the winner is.
Yeah, I don't have
I'm sorry. I gotta hold you guys. How do you work with? I noticed like some other companies that are out there that you work with. So like I see in their materials, like, hey, you can buy custom dynamics through us too. Like you guys like have different companies you work with. You kind of promote each other. Does that make sense? I think I saw that with, was it Rick Rack? If I remember right.
Yeah, Rick Rack is one of our dealers. So, like Rick Rack and Fairing Exchange, Custom Lighting Effects, J&P Cycles, all of those are dealers. You see Rick Rack and Fairing Exchange a lot. Some of those are on the road a lot, so you see them more at shows. So they, like Rick Rack has some of their own products, but they carry a lot of our products for lighting.
Is there anything that's coming out soon that's kind of like a big deal for you guys? Do you have something you're going to release here pretty soon? Give a kind of like a sneak peek. Are you allowed to say that?
Yeah, there's several coming out soon. Which one can I talk about? That would be.
Dude, you're the owner. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I got to be careful which ones are, where they're at in the patent.
I got you.
Phase. I'll tell you one that's I'm pretty excited about. I can because the patent's already approved on. We are coming out for the 14 and newer Harleys that have 1157 rear turn signals, an LED turn signal that will be red and amber. Okay, that's plug and play. So you think about your turn signals on the back of the motorcycle now for an 1157 to, let's say, a street glide, just something simple. You plug it in and it's red running, red brake, red turn. This will be, you plug it in and it'll be red running, red brake, but amber turn. And it'll do it all on its own.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it knows, it detects when their turn signal's on and changes all the LEDs over to amber.
Dave, does LOM red work for you? Because they ask a question, are there rear turn signals that are red, amber? So good setup if it was, but
that's it.
That's cool.
Yep. So
That's cool.
so if you have 1157, and so that's something that we've patented, and the way we're doing that, that should prevent that from being copied.
Okay, guys, you ready for the question? Who rents the $250 gift card? Okay. Now, you guys are going to have to look in the side chat, Jack and Bob, to see who the first person to answer this.
I got
So
you covered.
after we put this in here, guys, I'll explain it. I'm going to give you my email, and then you're going to email. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a code that they sent to me, and I'll email you that code, and then you can spend your $250, whatever you want. Okay, you guys ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay.
I got it.
How many bikes does Dave own? First person, let's see.
Let's see.
How many bikes does Dave own? He said it earlier.
864, wrong answer. 350. 350. No, that's the wrong answer. Mrs. Den.
Mrs. Den!
Woo!
So let's see here. I got to find her name because she was the first person, right? Mrs. Den.
Yep, she was.
Mrs. Den, congratulations. She will be winning a $250 gift card. And that is a Motorcycle Den. That's Mrs. Den, his wife. So congratulations on that.
And that can be used at any Sheets for coffee,
It
donuts,
can be used at any
or
Wawa
sandwich.
we're not listening to Sheets. But congratulations, Miss Den, and we appreciate it. So if you'd like to email me at broncoride1@gmail.com, if you go to my page, it'll be in the About section, broncoride1@gmail.com. Shoot that over to me when you can, and I'll shoot you the code over, and then you can get set up. So congratulations on that. Dave, really appreciate you coming on tonight. Really good information about kind of like the history of your company. And, when we were, talking about you earlier before we invited you on, and I met you personally. So, I mean, you're a cool guy. I mean, you're not just a guy that's all about business. You look out for riders, right? You ride and you say, what will make things better for riders out there. And I appreciate that. And you have a savvy about it that you're always wanting to make it safer. And so way to go, man. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your night tonight to come and join us. We had a lot of people on the side chat tonight, and we appreciate all you guys. So any party words before we wrap up? Jack, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, just thank you very much, Dave, for being on. I mean, I know I am one of your influencers. I can put that out there and let everybody know that. That is not by far why we had Dave on. We had Dave on because he's a very interesting guy. Is why we had him on. I do have a question, though, from the side chat that I have to throw out there to you. This is a person I've been talking to a lot lately. Harley Girl, Gurl. Says she's waiting for a light for about 2 months, a replacement turn signal. So I'm just throwing that out there because I know that your customer service is amazing, fantastic, and above all standards. So, I don't want to hear that in the chat room. So I'm sure they'll be taken care of. Or is there a place you can email or something, maybe too?
So email me, my direct email address, sales@customdynamics.com. So again, sales@customdynamics.com. And then just send me your information and I'll figure out what's going on. If it's back ordered, if it's stuck in the mail or whatever the situation is, I'll figure out what the issue is and how we get it corrected.
It looks like she used a hometown place called Hogtown Cycles. So
yeah, I don't think.
But Dave, thanks again. I'm just throwing it out there because it's one of our viewers, and I just wanted to put that.
Sure.
I appreciate that. Thank you
very
much.
But give me the information, and I'll figure out why Hogtown's not getting it. But
all right,
we'll dig into it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, hey, Dave, thank you for coming on. I don't know if you know this, but we've never purposely brought any manufacturer on. We've just always been against that. And you guys are such a common name, and we knew the story on why you do this was important for people to hear. And that's why we wanted to have you on, and I'm glad we did, because I think you said that great, and we appreciate what you guys do for us riders. So thank you.
Yeah, because the last thing we wanted to do is just have a sales pitch for an hour. I know we talked a lot about your history and Custom Dynamics, but I mean that's because you're a big part of the community, and a lot of our friends and a lot of riders out there have your products. And that's cool. You seem like a really cool guy and down to earth, and looking forward to seeing the success of your company. So, you have any parting words, Dave, before we wrap up?
No, just wanted to thank everyone. Enjoyed being on here, and that's my email address that we give out. So anyone that was on here tonight, if you ever need to reach me, please do. For anything, if you ever have a customer service issue, if you ever want to just give me feedback, I'm very accessible. I love hearing from customers. So
where was your email? I'm sorry. Did you put it in there?
sales@customdynamics.com. I put it in the chat.
There it is. Okay.
There you go.
Do you need a house? Do you need a house dog? at the shop?
My dogs don't shut up, man. They really do. Thank you guys, everybody, for tonight, for joining us. We really appreciate all the activity in the side chat as well. Congratulations to Mrs. Den with that answer for your $250 gift card. Again, broncoride1@gmail.com. I'll shoot you over your code. Thanks again, everybody. I hope everybody has an awesome Sunday night. Be well, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Good night.